there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we port in ships, important gifts. Of course it is what extortion is, in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informant this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real?
What up, everybody? In a world where Austin's being shadow banned. So apparently the Grabblers are not content with the fact that they have literally continuously struck my channel from 2-3 month old streams over and over and over. I appeal. They reluctantly have to approve the appeal, and then they decline appeal after appeal, keeping it to where I can't even stream. And then I get locked up for 18 days. I come back, do a comeback stream. It's taken down within 6 hours, and now I can't stream for another 2 weeks. And one more stream on my channel will be permanently deleted. I then have to go to my backup channel, Glowbusters Activism, which we've built up a little bit, like doubled the subs, right? Pretty quick. We got some legendary people that watch the stream. And then with that being the case, and me saying nothing and doing nothing that can allow them to strike the channel, they now shadow ban the channel. If you have me on Facebook, you saw I made a video and I posted it. But basically what's happening is they are not showing the stream on the Glowbusters Activism channel. So when I go to my phone and then I type in, I switch to my account for Glowbusters Activism, you can find the stream, right? It's right there. You go to my channel, and then under videos, you see the latest stream, which is the reemergence of sun worship. Then you go back over to WitsitGetsIt, and you go to Glowbusters Activism, and you go to the videos, and the latest stream is not there. The reemergence of sun worship is not there. They've been doing that to almost every single one of the streams. Funny enough, the Nathan Thompson stream, right? They leave that one up immediately. They pop that one up there immediately. So it's just really weird. It's not like we have a setting where it's not posting immediately or anything, because it's on the Glowbusters Activism channel immediately when I'm signed into it. But Chris can't see it. Other people can't see it. People have been messaging me all day. They can't find it. They've noticed it for the last 3 or 4 streams. So they know that my peak viewers come during the stream, which we got about 300 views last night during the stream or right after it. And then people wake up in the morning and they watch the stream, because sometimes I don't finish the stream till like 12 or 1 o'clock Eastern. And then that's where the peak views come. So like on WitsitGetsIt, I would have a couple thousand views after the first day every time, right? And of course, it would always just conveniently top out right there. Now, the prime view time is being shadow banned, where for like 15, 16 hours after the stream post, you can't find it anywhere. What a clown world. It's probably because I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, or maybe they don't really want you to know that the sun worship is going to pop its head back up. But what do I know? I mean, I'm a little paranoid, I guess, so it is what it is. Shout out to all the legends on DLive and on YouTube for actually keeping up with the content. And we're just going to keep it pushing. They're not going to stop me. The more they censor me, the more that I will double down on making content. So cool stuff. I saw that. Yeah, it's just crazy stuff, man. Couple donations here from after the stream. 777 Donald, thank you. No, thank you, man, and much love. appreciated, and every little bit helps. And then my boy Jonathan for 10. You are a good dude. Love your thoughts on things. Thank you very much for the support. It's much appreciated and much love, bro. So we're going to get right into it. Tonight's stream is called Humility. And I think this is an important subject, oftentimes misconstrued. And so I'm going to give my take on it. Because I'm the most humble person ever. Hopefully y'all catch the joke there. I know people like that. But when I was locked up, I had some things kind of revealed to me, right? And so one of them was to listen more, even when I know someone's wrong, to let them get it all out. This is because y'all showed me what he does is he allows an avenue to be opened up to you so you will understand where you can reach someone more efficiently, right? So that's why you go out, and if someone realizes that them shutting the world down overnight like that is just nonsense, right? Then you can relate to them on that, resonate with them there, and then they will be more open to hearing you out regarding, say, the deception of the earth and the scripture's validity, et cetera, et cetera. You do not just go with your glasses and your spy glasses or with your camera and then harass people and then try to make a video where you can just beat on your chest that you debated someone or that you beat them in a conversation, because that is for oneself, right? So when it comes to interacting with people, which we are to actually scream it from the rooftops, there's a misconception that being humble means that you need to be whispering and mumbling like, I don't know, man, I think that the earth is flat. That's not what it says to do. It says to go spread the good news. That's what the gospel means. That's what the gospel translates to, the good news. You're supposed to exalt your voice and then scream it from the rooftops, right? So there's a mixture here. You are to get the word out there and you are to be bold while doing so, but you are not to do it for oneself. Like, oh, look at that. I flat smacked them and they didn't know what they were talking about. Oh, look, I'm so smart. I know the second law of thermodynamics and the radius value off the top of my head, and they don't even know what it is. Of course they don't know what the radius value is, bro, right? So this is what the crux of the stream is about. Humility. What is humility? It is actually pure self-reflection, meaning blunt, 100% honest self-reflection. But that isn't necessarily what humility is. It's just the foundation of it, because really humility is actually detaching from this importance you've placed on oneself, right? So again, there's this misconception that it means talking less, not talking loudly, but that's not what it is, right? Humility is just thinking someone else is more important than you, putting the importance of someone else over the importance of oneself. That's what humility really is. And so basically he was showing me like, look, I felt, honestly, this is how I felt, and certainly in recollection, that I was basically being trained, right? Like, you know, when you go get a new job and you have to train, right? That's how I felt. I felt like I was being trained. So here you go, put in this cage, right? With the Muslim guy that's talking crazy out the side of his mouth, threatening to hit you. You're going to have to keep your cool. You're going to have to be humble. He knows for a fact that his religion is the final religion that came 600 years after Yahshua, even though that's actually works in our favor, the validity of our text. And it says, revere the people of the good book, and to read the good book, right? Being the scriptures. But he knows that he's got the final perfect religion. Muhammad's the final prophet, and I'm just crazy, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm just some stupid westernized person that thinks that Jesus is real. And he started me off, warming me up. There you go. You prayed for patience, bro. Well, here's a test for you. If you really think that you're able to work on your patience, let's see how you are. So you can get a little litmus test real quick, right? Where old Austin, as soon as you get in my face doing this, talking over me, you're gonna get hit in the mouth. That's just where I'm from. That's how it is. I did not do that though, right? Like I had to keep my cool. Then I get moved to general population. And I have people from all different walks of life. None of them soft, or maybe there's a couple people in there that are kind of soft. But these people are, you know, pretty hardened, right? Because they feel like they've had the whole world turn on them. They get put inside typically for petty things that where they have no fair representation. They don't have money to get any type of legal representation or legal counsel. And then the whole outside world forgets about them. Their family forgets about them. Their friends forget about them. They all turn their back on them. No one puts money on their books or on their phone. No one takes their phone calls. And so they're just sitting there hardened, not trusting anyone, right? They have real animosity towards the creator if they even acknowledge the creator. And you're going to have people from this walk of life and this walk of life and this walk of life with all their different stories, right? And they're all fed up with the cookie cutter Christian. Oh, it's just all just because. I got hard questions for you. Here's some difficult questions about the Old Testament and what happened. Oh, it's just you just have to trust it. You just have to believe in it. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. That's not what he tells us to do. He tells us to hold steadfast and prove all things to be true. So I want you to realize that actually questioning the validity of things, which is why I got mad love for Jaron. He's a truth seeker and he's out there trying to figure things out. Do I like necessarily what he always says? No, of course not. But I still do respect the fact that he's trying to figure it out honestly for himself, right? Like he earnestly tries to figure it out. He's not just trying to say that he believes it from the beginning and not ask any of the tough questions. Humility is not never critiquing the scriptures or never trying to figure out the validity of them or figure out the truth within it. Humility is not mumbling and keeping to yourself and not speaking the truth. Humility is not talking less necessarily, right? But I think that integrates into it because you are to hear other people out. You're supposed to put others in front of you. So what I had to do was talk to all these different people with all these different stories, right? And I'm pretty blessed in the fact that I have been in different, walks of life myself, right? Like the only white kid in the hood. Right. I've been there. I've lived there, bro. Like I know all about it. I've lived with my homies in the hood. I've been the only white dude in my group of friends more than once. So whenever people talk about flipping chickens and flipping birds, I know exactly what they're saying, right? When they say watch out for 12 because we got keys, I know what they're talking about. I know exactly how they feel. The system has basically been pinned against minorities. That's actually true, right? Like we're all need to like get right and handle our business, right? And you can't just use some type of excuse to justify your immoral behavior by talking about your pigment all the time, of course. But I understand where they're coming from. So I am blessed in that sense, right? Because what may be looked at as trials and tribulations have created the character that I now have. But I was basically being trained. And what I was being shown over and over and over was when someone's getting real upset, because grown men get upset when you take away the little ball earth. It's like you're taking away their little toy ball and making them sit in the corner. They freak out and implode and lose their mind. And I'm talking to someone else who's genuinely curious. They're like, well, what about circumnavigation? What about this? Well, what's on the outside, etc. And I'm telling them the actual answers because they're actually interested in it. And there's someone over in the corner that wants to jump in and start berating me and being real loud and calling me ignorant, calling me stupid. And I had to learn to be cool. I had to bite my tongue and keep my cool and hear them out, right? So when people are trying to tell me I'm dumb because I don't believe in the heliocentric model and they know nothing about it, it's real easy and tempting to just interrupt them, right? Whenever they're talking about how the globe Earth works, but it's just misunderstandings and they don't know anything about it. And I'm like, oh, okay, do you know what the radius value is? Of course not. Do you know what the circumference is? Of course not. Do you want to know what the second law is? No, you don't. Do you know how fluid statics debunks your religion? No, you don't. But nevertheless, you want to let them get it out. And as I just felt that placed on my heart, bro, that I was supposed to let these people talk more. And as I began to let them talk more, I realized very quickly why. The wisdom began to increase immediately with me learning to listen more. And this is because, although I know that they're wrong, it's not a competition. It isn't about oneself. It isn't so I can walk out in front of the 30 criminals in jail and be like, look, I'm so smart. It's just that I sit there and I listen because I truly care about them. I truly want them to know the truth. I want to reach them. I want to tell them that, look, man, you're not a tiny speck of dust that spins in ever expanding infinite nothingness where lightning struck primordial soup and then rocks became humans and you crawled out as a fish and then grew legs and turned into a rat that turned into a monkey that turned into a human, where there's no morality, no linear code of ethics, and nothing's important about you. The truth is, in fact, that the earth is the center of all things and it was placed here for you. And that means you're very special because humans were given domain on this earth. And if it is the center of everything, it had to be created. The necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. Of course, if the heliocentric model were true in fairy tale land where we just defy physics, it still had to be created. Okay? The necessary antecedent to creation is a creator, period. Right? There's signs of creation all over the place. But I truly want them to know this. I want them to know that where they look around, and we've been brainwashed to take for granted while just constantly telling us to look up and believe in fairy tales, right? As if they somehow have to add and embellish like creation itself as if it's not already magnificent and beautiful the way that it is, right? You need to look around and be appreciative because you are special, bro. Like you're special. You don't just die and it's all over. Like the creator loves you. He made you and you're a very special being. Okay. And I truly wanted them to know that. They are like the forgotten people. The system that we live in is disgusting. Have you heard some of the stories? I was real upset about why I was in there until I started hearing other stories. And I quickly realized, well, I'm certainly not the only one being railroaded by the beast system right now. These people are forgotten. But Yah does not forget people. Only humans drowning in pride and arrogance and only self-importance, right? Obsessed with themselves, do they quickly forget their loved ones and quickly forget their friends that are in the inside, for example, right? It is pride. And I say, of course, it is the love of money that's the root of all evil. Pride is a quick second place, man. It's a quick second place and usually integrates itself within the love of money. So as I began to listen to people, I began to realize that Yah was revealing to me a perfect opportunity to reach them, right? And so then there was this area, this avenue that I could resonate with them, and then I could actually reach them because I wanted to reach them. I wanted them to know that the earth was created for them, and I wanted them to know who created it. Abba, the Father, Yahuwah, hallelujah, right? It's Yah that created you. He loves you. He's your Father. And then in basically avatar fleshly form, the word became flesh and came and suffered for you innocently because he loves you that much. He wanted to give you an out, basically, because we can't pass the test perfectly. We simply can't do it. He didn't leave us hanging, though. He gave us an out, right? And Yahshua is his real name, but regardless of the semantics of his name, right, although I find it to be very important because there's power in his name, he loves you, and it's real. It's not some fairy tale. It's not some figure that was just created to be used for control and murder and the building of different civilizations and power structures, right? Although underneath the guise of that was indeed done, right? But the religious doctrine built by the Catholic Church and the abuse of the scriptures and mistranslations and the removal of scriptures, that is just by men. Men, selfish, prideful men, and power corrupts, and they wanted more power, okay? But do not put that on the Creator because that is foolish, right? And I truly wanted to reach them. And when I came outside and that guy was working out outside and I heard him saying, Yahshua HaMashiach, Yahshua HaMashiach, so he could remember the name that he asked me quite a few times, and I went through him because his original language was Spanish, but he spoke English very well. He was very intelligent. And I was just telling him, yeah, Yahshua HaMashiach, right? And then as I go outside, he doesn't even know I'm walking outside, and he's just trying to memorize the name. You know how happy that made me, right? And it's not about you, bro. It's about your ability to help other people out and go reach other people. Realize that at one point in time, you were lost also. At one point in time, you didn't know the truth also. There are people in this chat that don't know the truth. There are people that are on the Globebuster shows that don't know the truth. There are people on the Jaren show that don't know the truth. In the truth community, just because you find out that they lied about the earth and that still doesn't burn because of fire as passports pop out of it, doesn't mean that you got it all figured out. We need to care about other people. We don't need to just want to beat our chest. And it's real easy to get coaxed into trying to, prop ourselves up or to get real prideful as a defense mechanism because the whole world seems to turn on us as we begin to reveal these truths, right? So if you think you got it bad as a flat earther, try being a believer and then try and speaking the real gospel and the real truth of the scriptures, even within the community of the believers, right? Then you'll find out very quickly what it is to be a minority. See, the real minority are the free thinkers and the believers. That's the most persecuted group of people in the world. And if you go to China right now, you can't even read an online book. You can't read the Bible online, right? They're having to memorize the scriptures in China because you can't have the scriptures. You can have the Quran, though. That's probably just a coincidence that you can have the Quran, you can have the Vedic text, you can have any other religious text, right? But you cannot have the scriptures. You want to know who's really persecuted? It is the believers and the true believers, not the cookie cutter prosperity gospel mega church preachers, right? Because they're free to go. They're all over the mainstream media. So it's easy as a defense mechanism when you are basically ostracized to stick your chest out in pride. This is the last thing that we can do. This is very detrimental to our ability to reach people. It's very detrimental in our relationship and our growth within our relationship with Yah and Yahshua also. So we have got to learn to humble ourselves. And I was being shown that also, right? Like, I am in no way saying I am like super humble and the most humble person ever, but I have really learned and grown a lot over the last couple of years regarding this, and I encourage everyone else to do this as well. And what this requires is a true, blunt self-reflection, right? It may sound counterintuitive to you that I'm telling you humility is all about detaching from the importance of oneself, and the first step is to truly self-reflect, but that's what it is. So do you truly struggle with lust? Do you truly struggle with lying? Do you embellish stories, right? Like, can you work on that? Can you bridle your tongue? Do you covet after other people? Do you have a lot of hatred, right? Is it hard for you to forgive people? These are very important things that you acknowledge. And don't just say it in the chat. Don't just say it to me, right? Because it's not about me, bro. It's about what the truth is, right? And whatever that truth is, when you rip away all of these defense mechanisms and layers of defense you have, you rip them all away. That's what the Creator sees, bro. He sees your true intentions, 100% raw, 100% emotions and intentions. He knows exactly what you truly think and what you're truly doing. Right? There is no fooling him. So this is not some game you play for appearances to the outside. This is about really trying to humble yourselves, right? And so Yahshua himself, he tells you, he says that the humble will be exalted, but those who exalt themselves will be humbled, right? So those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and the humble will be exalted. It's very important that we focus on this, and we need to be honest, and we need to self-reflect. So it is not that you think less of yourself, but you think of yourself less. Okay, that's what being humble is. Not that you think less of yourself, but rather that you think of yourself less. You actually wake up and you want to figure out how to help people. When you're out in the world, you're like, what can I do to help other people? You actually care about people. When you see a homeless person, you actually want to go help them. Not so you can throw it on IG though, bro, because you actually want to help them. You actually want to go bring them some food. You want to ask them if they know about Yahshua. You want to hear their story. You hear them out. Out of true sincerity and love for them, you want to know about them. You want to help them be in a better position than you. You don't want to not put your hand on them and pray with them because you might get dirty. That's just pathetic, right? You don't just go talk to homeless people so you can put it on the gram, bro, right? You truly have to care about them. You truly want to help them out. That is the key. That's the most important part. Selflessness, exactly. Selflessness. Like, do you really want to reach these people? Or do you want to be the part of the special little group of people that figured everything out? A lot of the truthers, they seem to just be obsessed with the fact that now they can stick their chest out because they know that little poisonous concoctions built upon the replicated stem cells of aborted fetal tissue isn't good for you. Wow, bro. You figured out that the ball Earth defies physics. Wow, bro. Like, to me, honestly, at this point in recollection, figuring out the deception of the earth just requires remedial interpretation and a little bit of intellectual honesty. It is nothing to be real boastful about, right? Like, yeah, you found out that the earth doesn't defy physics. Congratulations. You found out that poisonous chemicals aren't good to inject into the most malleable immune systems of little infants. Congratulations. You found out that fire from jet fuel doesn't burn still, and that passports don't pop out of fire. Whoa, bro, you're a savant. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, these deceptions are pretty easy to see once you have eyes to see. It isn't making you special or important. You don't have some inflated self-importance now that you've seen these deceptions. You're being shown these deceptions so you can extend this knowledge to other people. My people perish and are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. So this is what we need to do. We need to hold steadfast and prove all things to be true. Do not partake in the darkness, but rather expose and reprove them and spread the good news, right? So there's this misnomer about humility where you're supposed to beat yourself up. You're not supposed to, have any pride in yourself. And pride is a demonized word in the sense that it's misinterpreted. Certainly whenever you have the Hebrew translation, you are to have righteous pride, right? But it's not typically of oneself, right? It's of the fact that you are now right with the Creator. You are blessed enough to be in good standing with the Creator, right? So it's really just pride in your Creator, not yourself, and you want to go speak the truth to other people. That's what it's all about. So we have a big issue within the truth community, even itself, where pride's a big deal. Now, I will say, typically, those in the truth community are a lot more humble than other communities, right? Because it requires humility to even examine the nature of the earth honestly, and to think that maybe you were fooled. It requires humility to examine all these deceptions or conspiracy theories with honesty. So a lot of us do have a little leg up on humility, but I mean, that's like basically being the fastest kid in the race with no legs. Like that, like the world is sunken in depravity at this point, guys. Like it isn't really like impressive to be more humble than the typical normie, if you want to call them that, because like the world's sunken in depravity. The entire society's been engineered about me, 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 me. You wake up thinking about you. You go to sleep thinking about you. You go to work thinking about how you're going to get money for you. How are you going to do this for you? How popular are you? What can you do for you? That's the way society's been engineered. Don't you dare worry about actually going out there and sacrificing your own financial stability or your own reputation to get the truth out there, because that way you won't be as cool anymore. You won't be as accepted anymore. That's the way society's been engineered. And actions speak louder than words. You will know them by their fruits. You can know every single Bible verse in the scriptures. That doesn't mean anything, right? Because if you're afraid to go and show your real face and speak the truth for the Creator, you don't impress me, bro. You don't impress me, because that means you have a lack of humility. This is pride, right? You can make whatever justification you want to, right? It's fear and pride, okay? I don't want to lose my job. Well, then you're not too humble, because that's about you, bro. Like, I don't want to jeopardize my 6-figure job, so I'm just going to create a separate Facebook account where I speak the truth. I'm not going to go out in public and speak the truth. Many people won't even go speak the truth about Yahshua in public, right? Like, it's very important that we kind of get ready to understand how important humility is in the near future, because they are going to appeal to your pride, right? And those that humble themselves will be exalted. Those who exalt themselves will be humbled. So whenever they come in, and whoever they are, right, these metaphysical entities that they start to slowly declassify, or really, just so you understand how fast, my working theory is, of course, they have till June 1st to start to release some of this information per the Pentagon. They start to acknowledge UFOs. They start to acknowledge all this crazy phenomena going on in the sky that they've known about for a long time. They even maybe start to release information about 0-point energy, etc., which is just like all about magnetism. And then what happens is these aliens, which they may not say come from intergalactic civilizations, I think they ultimately absorb the flat earth truth, the geosync stationary plane truth, right? The Hebrew cosmological truth. And I think that they come and they say, now we have to intervene and reveal ourselves to humans, because you stupid humans stepped outside of the script and went and told everyone the secrets of this technology that y'all are not ready for, because you have crazy psychopaths that live here that are not responsible enough to actually be able to know about this information. So now we have to step in and we have to rein this in before you destroy yourselves, right? They're the heroes. We've been watching you the whole time. We've been waiting for the right time to intervene. Either they created us, or that they were there whenever we were created, and they're way older than us, and they're watching us through our evolutionary process of spirituality, and now they've come in to guide us. And you can be like us, gods, where you're immortal. You just have to basically put the pieces together within the astral plane, within the metaphysical realm, the etheric realm. Here are the secrets. Follow us and we will guide you into, basically taking hold of your own divinity. This is all tailored around ego and pride. The Great Deception will have a lot to do with pride, and they've engineered society to only care about themselves. So you have to look in yourself, right? And trust me, this is definitely a growing process. Okay, it's definitely not like you're just going to wake up the next day and never think about yourself. Let's be real. Okay, but you have to constantly try to figure out how to detach more from yourself, and your actions are what's going to prove that. And you don't have to prove it to man anyway, but prove it to Yah. Prove it to the Father. That's what you need to worry about. Prove it to the Creator. That's what you have to do. And how are you going to prove it to the Creator? It'll be by your fruits. It'll be by your actions. Faith without works is dead. You do not earn your salvation via works, but if there are no works, your faith is just fake. It's not even real. You're just talking about it. So what is some of these things that would prove that you're putting others in front of you? Giving stuff away, right? So when you tithe, you don't go to a building on sun worship day, right? That's so obsessed with their income that they just focus on a business plan in their meetings. And they're like, oh, even though he said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, we don't want to pay our taxes. Ooh, so what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to give our authority over to the state so we can keep more of our taxes. I need a new Mercedes, right? You don't go to a place like that and put money in a plate every day, and then or every Wednesday and Sunday, and then say, oh, I'm good. Every Sunday I put a check in a plate, so I'm good. I don't have to worry about anything. You're supposed to go and actually make sure that your tithing goes to helping the less fortunate, the widows and the orphans, because you actually care more about them than yourself. That's what this is about. Can you actually put the importance of other people before yourself? Can you actually get to where you consider other people's salvation more important than self-convenience, right? You have to detach from this inflated ego and self-importance society has engineered us to believe in. That's the whole thing, guys. So can you really jeopardize your current income and your current job to speak the truth for Yahshua, or to speak the truth about anything? Can you jeopardize your current income to do that? Because that would be works. That would be fruit. Okay. Can you jeopardize your current reputation to go seek and speak truth and to spread the good news to everyone? Can you actually jeopardize your current employment and reputation to do that? Because that's works. Can you step out in financial faith and go out into the world, go out into all the nations and speak the truth? Go to the rooftops and yell it from the rooftops. Exalt your voice. And whenever they don't hear you and they don't hear your words, keep it pushing and dust off your feet. That means you are supposed to go into these places. You will be ridiculed, and you're supposed to keep on going. You're supposed to keep going. It's not about you. It's not about how many followers you have on Instagram. It's not about how many girls you can talk to in your DMs. That's not what it's about. It's not about how many people think you're cool. It's not about some facade that you can keep up, right? This is why I never really wanted to make music, because it just seems so like filthy to me. This is even before I got right with Yah, because it's just like everyone just cares about inflating this image of themselves, but they're fake. You know what I'm saying? You think Lil Wayne is selling cocaine, bro? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You think Lil Wayne is selling cocaine? Lil Wayne's jeopardizing his hundreds of millions of dollars to flip keys and to go shoot people? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I think that they're making sure that they engineer the younger generations to be sunken into gravity. If he's doing that, I'm just mind-blowingly dumb. But nevertheless, like, It's just this facade. It's all about you are a real person, and then everyone has this other person that they prop up to the world. They care about themselves that much. Who cares, bro? Rip it all off. Because I think that the true evolution, we'll call it, of your relationship with Yah is where you can rip all these layers off, all these guards off, and understand that the Father can see all through that immediately. And what's all the way down in there, what the 100% truth is, all of your flaws, all of your things that you struggle with, that's what he can see. And when you can take the step to where you let the whole world see that, that's whenever you're getting closer to where the scriptures tell us to go. So do not worry about exalting yourself, right? Because you'll be humbled. Humble yourself. Don't worry about what other people see. See, like when you go do things for the actual like well-being of the better good, or for the Father, or for the truth, right? You don't have to record it every time. See, I love the people that have my back and send donations to the tour, because they trust me and they know that I'm out here doing the Father's work. I'm actually out here doing what I feel led to do. I'm not going to tape all of it, bro. I wouldn't reach as many people if I taped it all the time. Trust me, I'm constantly talking to people in the real world. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay, but it's not so that other people see it, is my point. If you feel like you have to get validation from others, so you have to constantly prop yourself up and create this facade of you and show everyone how many good works you're doing, then you're not doing it for the right reason. You're doing it for yourself, and basically it's worthless. It's worthless. You can go around and do everything, but if you're just doing it so other people see you doing it, it's worthless. Now, is it wrong to document it and get the word out there so you can reach more people in this age of information on the internet? No, I don't think so, because I would love to throw this thing away, to be honest, and I'm not supposed to yet. Yet is the key word that I do think that we are supposed to detach from money entirely and these little Black Mirror, dumb phones pretty soon. But right now, I don't feel that that's where he wants me to be. Witsit believes in evolution. Cool. Wow, this person is really cool in the chat. So basically, y'all get the point here. Don't worry about what other people think. Other people are dumb. The carnal mind is stupid. So, if we can't even rein in our own carnal mind, why would we be super concerned with what other people think, utilizing purely their carnal mind? So I think humility is a big thing that we need to get ready for, because I think the Great Deception actually intertwines a sales pitch to your pride and to your ego, telling you that you can be a God and that you can be divine. You're not a God, bro. You're not a God. I don't care how many times you say it. I don't care how many times you say all the ancient civilizations knew that they were God. Yeah, they all got deceived by the Watchers, bro. That's why there's so many polytheistic religions, because there were different deities presenting them different pieces of information and different avenues to somehow become a God, or become God-like, or to become a demigod. This is what the Great Deception will be like. God, you're not a God. I don't care how many times you say it. You don't get to create your own morality, your own moral code. You have a consciousness. This is because the Creator wrote it on your heart. And you were supposed to get back to the law, get back to the instructions, and the law is not the true translation. Get back to the Torah and the instructions, because that's how you show him that you love him. And this requires humility, because you want to eat bacon doesn't mean you're supposed to eat bacon. Okay, the Creator of everything says that's not even considered actual food. That's not food, bro. It's like the vacuums of the earth. Everything that was created has a purpose, right? And the pigs are the vacuums of the earth, basically. They're not for your consumption. That isn't food. But you want to eat bacon and you like shrimp. So shrimp red bacon, I can't let go of shrimp red bacon. That's a double whammy. And don't get me wrong, it is super good. So you got to learn that it's not just about you, bro. And no, you're not a God. You don't get to make up your own rules. I don't care what you have to say about it, right? And you can, dude, the necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. There is a natural logos, a natural order of logic, and the word has set this into place all around you. There's a linear code of ethics. You did not create the linear nature of ethics, bro. It exists way beyond your fleshly body. You're not a God. I don't care how many times you want to say you are. You want to twist the Messiah's word and say that he said that the kingdom of heaven is within you, so therefore you're a God and get to make up your own rules, and Jesus is just about the Son. You can say whatever you want to say, justify it, right? Like, oh, there's over 4,200 religions and yours is the right one. That's what I used to say. Let me guess, yours is the right one, but there's 4,200 religions, even though religion is just a primitive attempt of humans to explain the inexplicable. I can argue your guys' point better than you can. Like, the truth is that Yahshua is real, the Father's real, and he loves you, and he wants to bring you towards him, and it requires humility. So this is the first step to all of this, okay? Because I had to humble myself, and it wasn't easy, and I wasn't even particularly humble. That's how I know a lot of you guys are lying when you say you've sought it, because it says if seek it and you'll find it, right? And I wasn't even completely humble. I just humbled myself a little bit to actually go say the prayer. And at the time I said, Lord, and I said, dear Lord, I feel like you're telling me we're in the end and you want to use me. If this is true, give me an undeniable sign. And he did. And I started feeling convicted about things after he gave me the sign. I didn't want to feel convicted about those things. I like doing those things. Smoking a ton, drinking a ton, having sex with random women. I consider all these things to be petty, not like real immoral issues. And I didn't want to stop doing them, but I started feeling bad about them. I started feeling bad about cussing and speaking vulgar, right? Because many of my jokes were like flooded in vulgarity and depravity. I didn't want to stop making jokes like that. I didn't want to stop having sex with random girls. I didn't want to stop constantly being super messed up, but acting like I wasn't. Like constantly at the least being buzzed. I started feeling convicted about all these things. It's probably just a coincidence though. It's probably just a coincidence that I started feeling convicted. In my sober state, I started feeling convicted. In my messed up state, I would feel convicted, right? But I knew not to get messed up anymore because it was too real. I had to humble myself then and then actually try to apply discipline to my convictions. And I was struggling. Right? I was still lusting. I was getting calls from females and I was like, I'm not supposed to let her come over here. This is stupid. This girl is a baddie, you know? So I then had to say another prayer, you know? And again, I said, Lord, at the time, this is the second prayer I said in 5 days. Dear Lord, please help me apply discipline to my convictions. While I went to a park, parked by myself. I opened the scriptures, the same scriptures that he gave me Ezekiel 38 sign in. The second time I opened up the 1700-page NIV Bible, which I do not recommend that translation now, but y'all can speak to you through anything, bro. Any translation of those scriptures. I opened it directly up to Proverbs where it says, he who despises discipline despises himself. He who hates discipline despises himself. Or he who despises discipline hates himself, right? In the NIV. It's just a coincidence, guys, that's exactly where I opened it up to. And so this required humility on my behalf to even be able to go and seek it out. That's the first step that most people don't get past, right? That's all it takes. Seek and you will find. You have to have the humility to just be like, look, man, I give up. I'm not going to fight it anymore. There's this crazy feeling I feel inside of me, constantly pulling me towards the scriptures, pulling me towards it. But I have all of this stuff in my carnal mind that I've justified it because I'm so smart and so logical. I know more than the creator that this can't be true. None of this can be the actual truth, right? Because I've come up with all kinds of ways that the creator's wrong and I'm smarter than him and I'm more moral than him and I know more about the entirety of everything than the actual creator of everything. I don't have to humble myself. I'm a God. I get to say what's moral. Moral is subjective. To think that morality is subjective is insanity, bro. It's insanity. It doesn't even logically make sense. There's literally no logical postulation you can ever present to somehow create a foundation for the idea that morality is subjective, right? Because necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. This requires a linear code of ethics. There's an objective morality. There is no other way around it. There's not even another intellectually viable postulation that exists, guys. It is what it is. But it's easier for you to say that you're a God and that you can create your own morality, just whatever you feel like in the moment. Well, the truth is, the scriptures let us know that the heart is the most deceitful above all things, and that the carnal mind, effectively, in the grand scheme of everything, is stupid. Doesn't matter what your IQ is. I don't care what Mensa has to say about it. The carnal mind is insufficient. You can't understand the scriptures without the Spirit. This requires humility. You must pray about it. You must truly seek the truth. Can you do that? Because that's all you got to do. Seek and you'll find it. Isn't it crazy to think that the path is wide to destruction and many are on it, and the path to life is narrow and but a few find it, and all it requires is just enough humility that you actually seek it and ask for it and talk to the Creator. Genuinely talk to the Creator. That's all you have to do. Reveal it. Hey, if these scriptures are true, I want you to reveal it to me. Let me know one way or the other what the truth is. But be sincere and authentic and genuine and humble when you ask. Wow, that's such a hard request. Yeah, the Creator really left you out here to dry, right? That's what a bunch of the arrogant people have to say, right? Now, there are no flat earthers that don't acknowledge that the necessary antecedent to creation is a creator because it's geocentric and stationary and it's immovable and fixed. It had to be placed here. There's a firmament over top of it, clearly, because the antecedent to pressure is containment. Right? So there's something acting as containment that's protecting you and the earth's immovable and fixed. So you acknowledge that there's a creator, but you think that you still get to introduce subjective morality, that you get to make up what you think, right? And that somehow you supersede the creator and any type of order that he's implemented into the world. That is just preposterous. It just humble yourself, guys. Humble yourselves and go say the prayer. Go say the prayer, and it has to be real. It has to be real. This requires humility. And then what you have to do is continue to grow in humility. Like, I'm not saying I was like just making the stream title. I was just like, this is this comes with a lot of responsibility to try to break down to people, right? So don't not misinterpret it like Austin's telling you that I got everything figured out regarding humility, because I'm still growing. I still have to learn to let people that I consider to be wrong from the jump fully finish their ideas, get it out, try to be humble and nice and love people. Whenever people screw me over and constantly stab me in the back, and that's happened to me for most of my life, because basically the way I am is I don't care about monetary things. I don't care about materialistic things. So everything that's mine is yours. Everyone that's ever been around me my whole life knows that, and my whole adult life, long before I got right with Yah, right? When I just lived for myself. I never denied that there was a creator. I never talked bad about Yahshua. I just instinctively felt bad about that. I didn't like that. I didn't like when people did it around me either. But I just lived for myself, right? But even in that moment of my life, everything I had was everyone else's. If I had a house, everyone could stay there. I would pay their part of the rent if they didn't have it. Always. Anything I had was yours. If I'm eating, I'm certainly not eating in front of you, right? If I have an Xbox, it's your Xbox. If I have a car, it's your car. I've been the only person in my group of friends with a vehicle for most of my life, and I let them drive it more than I drove it every single time. Every time. And with that, people take your kindness for weakness. They start stabbing you in the back. I'm numb to being stabbed in the back at this point. But the part that I need to grow on is being humble enough to forgive them and actually be able to pray for them, to still love them. You know, if someone takes the garment under your cloak, give them your cloak too. Of course, that is, if someone sues you, takes you to court, and takes the garment under your cloak, then give them your cloak too. These are hard things, like to be so humble that you're willing to let someone just stab you in the back, and then you have to still love them and pray for them and let it go. Like, I still have to work on that. It's really hard for me. I naturally want to go just like, you know, wring someone's neck, bro, and be like, what is wrong with you? I gave you everything. I gave you everything that I had. I'll let you have everything that was around me. I'll let it be yours also. And then you do this, right? But I have to grow in humility. We have to truly reflect oneself to understand that we need to detach from oneself. So once again, in conclusion, I think that the best way to sum it up, right, is just saying that humility is not thinking of yourself or thinking less of yourself, rather thinking of yourself less. Do things for the right reason, whether it's documented or not, whether other people know it or not. You don't have to go around and tell people every interaction that you have, certainly not on the internet. If there's a reason that you're talking to other believers about it, that's one thing, right? And the believers are your real family, guys. And you're going to have to realize that maybe your blood family isn't your family. It's going to be the believers. It's going to be your brothers and sisters that really have your back. But that's who your real family is. Talking about to them about it's different. But just going around like, oh, that's a homeless guy. This is a perfect Instagram video. Look, I gave the homeless guys the money. That's terrible, guys. Right? Like, think of yourself less. You don't have to think less of yourself, though. Just think of other people first. What does that person need? What's the best way that I can reach that person? Like, how can I help them out? What's the sacrifice I can make? What do I have at my fingertips that I'm capable of sacrificing that's going to help someone else out? What do I have to do to go reach that person? Constantly think about how you can help other people out. How can you get the truth out there the most efficiently? This is very difficult in the society that we live in, guys. I'm not telling you that it's really easy. Trust me, I get it. I'm not saying I've mastered it either. You know, that's why I made the joke at the beginning. I'm the most humble person ever. You know, because it's just so funny. So many people act like that. But we have to acknowledge that we have to constantly grow and self-reflect so that we can detach from oneself. So that's really pretty wise if you take that in. We must really thoroughly and honestly self-reflect in order to fully detach from the importance of oneself that we've placed there. Put importance on other people, reaching other people, man. That's what we got to do. Because society's been engineered to make you always think about yourself 24/7. How can I get this? How can I do this? What's about me? Oh, I want a girlfriend that looks like this. Oh, man, blah, 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 blah. Look how pretty my girlfriend is. Look how much money I make. Look at my house. Look at my car. Me. Oh, I didn't get my way. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about you. There's a much bigger thing at play here, and we are in the midst of the great divide. We're in the midst of a spiritual war. You're going to have to stand out on the front lines for other people. You're going to have to go to the front lines of this war, so that you can reach the people that are in the midst of Babylon, getting ready to be drowned in fire. And you have to go reach those people that have eyes to see and ears to hear. You're going to have to sacrifice, maybe even literally sacrifice yourself to be able to go help those people out. Can you do that? Can you stand tall selflessly for the true creator and the true Messiah, Yahuwah, right, and Yahshua? Can you stand tall for him even if it means you get decapitated? Can you truly sacrifice yourself? Can you actually look into the face of martyrdom and be like, okay, Sign me up. Can you actually go lose everything you own, your house, your car, all of your money, your savings account, all of your devices, everything that you place importance on? Can you sacrifice that in order to actually go out and in this crucial time and wake people up? Are you willing to do that? Because to actually step out, for example, in financial faith, because this entire world of Babylon is built upon nothing more than the importance placed upon money and the love of it, right? Can you actually go out into financial faith and go out into the world and speak the truth to all the nations and spread the good news and go onto the rooftops and scream it? Can you exalt your voice regardless of being ridiculed? Because everyone in the room is going to turn on you. There's one guy in the back that needed to hear it, bro, right? You have to go take all of these bullets for that one person in the back that's probably not even going to come shake your hand, but just needed the seed that was already planted a couple years ago to be watered, or should you plant the seed so it can be watered further down the road? You have to be able to understand that, trust me, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sometimes I get to where I'm like, this sucks. Like, everyone turns on me. So, like, even the flat earthers are like, Austin's good at debating flat earth. He's real smart with that, but he's such an idiot when it comes to this. He's a religious, crazy person. Like, and I hate religion, the doctrine of men. Religion is made by men, right? But it's like even the flat earthers will turn on me for this. A lot of the flat earthers turn on me for this, right? And one of the realizations, and I'll finish up with this. One of the realizations that I had whenever I first came to, the realization that Yah was trying to wake me up and sit me down. He actually pulled me out of the current city I lived in to live out on 5 acres out by myself, right? A huge blessing. And all I had to do was take care of the 5 acres as my rent, and I had to pay the other bills, right? In a little basement. It wasn't much, but it was one of the happiest I've ever been because I was detached from everything else and from everyone else. And I was in a house where we always partied and turned up. And then I'm all of a sudden by myself. My dog's the happiest she's ever been, running around everywhere. There's a pond outside. You can see the stars. Incredible, right? I'm like, this is the happiest I've ever been. He brings me out there, and I start to fast and I start to pray. I have a lot of revelations, guys. I know you like to get messed up, a lot of you, and you like to not be sober, and you like to trip or whatever, and you think you're woke because you take psychedelics. You think that's the way that you become woke and enlightened, is to take ayahuasca and shrooms and LSD and stuff like that. And again, not casting judgment necessarily, but I just caution you. I caution you to watch out for that stuff, right? The truth is, I fasted for less than 2 days. I felt like I was tripping balls, bro. Like tripping like crazy, bro. Felt all the frequencies around me, was super intuitive, was having like downloads, bro. I was tripping, bro. The Creator wants you to be happy and to have these spiritual metaphysical experiences, and all it requires is sacrifice of oneself. So I was fasting and I was praying. I was having these revelations. I was studying the historicity of all the religions. I was studying the historicity of Yahshua, because he took me out and put me by myself. He set me on fire for him, and I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed with it all around. And then he showed me one of the downloads, if you will, that I got. I immediately felt like this crazy deep sadness, right? And like I teared up, bro. And I realized that I thought, wow, I'm a flat earther, already huge minority. This world's turning on me, but you still got the flat earthers, right? Oh, the flat earthers are going to think I'm crazy because I'm like, the scriptures are literally true. We need to get right with them. There's no like, oh, lukewarm, let's just make up what we want to. We need to get right, right? Okay, but it's all good. I still have the believers, right? I still have no. He showed me I'm actually going to have to call them out. I'm going to have to call out the modern believers, that he's going to use me to actually rebuke the apostate church, that he's going to lead me into the battle that is going against the apostate church and calling them out and rebuking them. But he had to refine me first. And I felt really sad. I started crying, bro. I started crying and asking the Creator why, because I didn't understand. I'm being secluded from everyone. Now I'm just a huge minority. I have like basically no one, right? My friends are turning on me because I'm doing live streams on Facebook talking about the Creator all the time, talking about the scriptures, talking about Yahshua, and everyone's turning on me, calling me a cookie cutter Christian. Oh, you're a Christian now. Good story, Austin, right? Everyone's bashing me, turning on me. No one's taking my phones and text because they all like to turn up, and I don't like to turn up. You know, if I go to the bar with them, I'm going to order a sweet tea or maybe one beer and barely sip it, and I'm going to ask them why they're cussing so much. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna like, bro, just chill. You don't got to drop an F word like it's a conjunction. Like it's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? So no one wants to hang out with me, because I'm just like a buzzkill. So I'm just by myself, and I'm like, oh, I got the believers. The believers got my back. And that was ripped from me, bro. And I felt like betrayed, bro. I'm like, look at all this stuff I'm doing for you. But the truth is, to whom much is given, much is expected. And it comes with much responsibility. And he made me a strong person, you know? And so I have to go do it. I have to do what he says to do. And the truth is, you've got to get to where you can do it too, right? And I'm still working on everything that I need to be working on. And he's showing me all kinds of things. And that's what the truth is. You have to be willing to admit you don't know everything. You're not a perfect Christian, bro. You're not a perfect believer. Whether you think you're a believer or you're not a believer, you're not perfect. You're not a God. You don't have everything figured out, and you're going to have to constantly learn and adapt and grow. That's the whole key. And put others in front of you. Put others before you. It requires a lot of sacrifice. Pick up your cross daily and follow me. That's the sacrifice. So he said to eat his flesh and to drink his blood, right? The flesh is the word, because the word became flesh. You are to read the scriptures, right? That is what eating the flesh is. Okay? It's the word became flesh. Read the scriptures, bro. Read the word. Okay? Now what is the blood? The blood is the sacrifice. You drink the cup of sacrifice. You have to take sacrifices for him. That's what it is. And if you're too caught up in pride and ego and obsessed with one's self-worth, you can't make the sacrifices, bro. You can't lose all of your friends and then keep it pushing and then think you have some other friends, but then you have to get excluded by them. And then you think you have some flat earth friends, but then they all turn on you because you're the religious guy, right? Oh, he's getting more religious. He's really, yeah, I think Austin's good at flat earth, but he's just real religious, right? Like, shut up. Whatever. No one cares what you're talking about. Like, you have to just let the dead bury the dead, bro. You have to detach from ego and caring about what other people think, or you cannot fully be used. So there you go. You have to make the daily sacrifice, and that's what it is. And another time I was struggling with losing all my friends, like he just seek it and you'll find it, guys. I promise. I don't do all this for no reason. I could have a much simpler life, guys. I promise. You know, I have some aptitudes, guys. I could make money, okay? But I was called to do this, and this is what I'm going to do until I'm gone, because I'm going to do what he leads me to do until I get taken out or I go out however I go out. That's just the truth. That's why I do it, okay? I certainly don't do it because I'm like, oh, I think I found a little niche that I can get in, like all the Globers will say, all the atheist, nihilistic people will say, like, oh, Austin's one of the real smart people within the stupid group, you know, whatever they want to come up with to justify them to themselves, their own self-projection, right? But the truth is, I know this is real, guys, because I actually sought it out. I sought it out. It is the truth. I was raised Baptist, thought it was stupid as could be, bro. I could dismantle any one of these Christians, and my old self could dismantle most of the mainstream Christians easily, right? Just like Jaron can. That's why I don't bash Jaron, even though, like, sometimes he aggravates me. That's my brother, bro. I love him to death, bro. He's seeking the truth. At least he's seeking the truth, bro. At least he's trying to figure out the truth, man. That's between him and Yah, and I pray for him, and I think he's at least seeking the truth, bro. Like, so all the people talking crazy about him, like, are you actually seeking the truth, or are you just saying it for lip service, bro? Right? Because I know Jaron can back up a lot of these so-called Christians into a corner, just like I could whenever I was raised Baptist and none of them could answer my questions. I'm like, you just skip over Genesis 6, bro. What are you even talking about, bro? Go murder every man, woman, and child. What is that, bro? Right? They couldn't answer my questions. I used to get kicked out of Sunday schools, bro. I used to just start skipping because I knew I'd get kicked out, and I didn't want to deal with my parents being mad at me for getting kicked out of Sunday school. I know all about it. But then I came full circle, and I had to humble myself, and I had to realize, in fact, the truth does lie underneath that, and there's been a net of deception cast over top of it so that people have a misrepresentation of what the truth is, what the true story is. You have got to be able to humble yourself to find it, and it comes with sacrifice. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. It doesn't just get real awesome real fast, right? And so it's hard, dude. It's difficult to wrap your mind around and really accept and grasp at first, right? But then whenever you need it the most, you go, you get alone, you say a prayer, you open up those scriptures, and he will talk to you, bro. He does not leave you hanging. And then I read, actually rejoice whenever they revile and persecute you, for they persecuted the prophets before you. Right when I needed it, bro. Right when I needed it the most, I read that. He doesn't leave you hanging. Show him that you're trying. Show him that you want to humble yourself and that you want to grow, and seek it out, and you'll find it. So there you go. There you go. There's my sermon, guys. So if y'all got any questions, hit me up in the chat, and then at the end I'll read the donations. I know I get pretty intense, but I just talk about what I feel led to talk about. And again, like, he who exalts himself will be humbled. He who humbles himself will be exalted. We are not of the world. True that. I get you, Austin. I'm going through the same thing. I'm not as bold as you, though. Thank you, and keep up the good work. Thanks for the kind words, bro, but don't say things like that about yourself. There's power in the tongue, bro. You can be just as bold, if not more bold than I am, bro. So don't say things like that. And I'll be honest, at first, whenever I started going live on Facebook, I was super, like, timid about it. Like, not on my streams, you're right. Just in inherently, my personality is kind of not like that. But like before I would go live, I'd be like, oh man, am I really about to go live with every single person I grew up with in my hometown, you know, like 3,000 friends, and they're all just going to check me because all of a sudden Austin, who was real cool at the parties, right, and was making jokes, all of a sudden this guy's just going to start talking to us about Matthew and about Genesis, dude. What a square, bro. Like, they're all going to check me. It was difficult to break through it, man. And it says that no prophet is welcome in his own town. I'm not calling myself a prophet. I'm just saying, when you're going to go out and speak the truth, it may be very likely that the people closest to you turn on you, right? It happened to Joseph with his literal brothers converging on him, and they still knew the truth about the Creator. So you have people within the community of believers turn on you. You're going to certainly have people that aren't believers turn on you and just turn their back on you like they never knew you. And you know, at first it hurts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It sucks. It does suck. It hurts. But you know what? A lot of those people now, they're like, wow, look at how happy Austin is. Look at what Yah is using Austin to do. Look at, no matter what it is that happens to Austin, he comes out with a smile on his face. Austin was gone for 18 days, came out doing a stream talking about how awesome the Creator is and smiling. Right? Like, they'll see him working through you. They'll see that he's got your back, and they will eventually want that too. And then they'll come full circle back to where they finally can humble themselves, or they can't humble themselves. And if they can, they're going to say, look, man, I'm sorry that I turned my back on you. I'm sorry I did this. It doesn't matter. Don't do this for men. Don't worry about men, right? Like, and that's the only reason that you wouldn't be bold, is because you're caring about what other men think. Don't worry about other men, bro. Men are stupid. And that's the truth. Y'all took me out of my hometown. Preach, bro. I swear that's how it is, man. Sometimes that's just what has to happen. That's why I have no reservation about going around the U.S. Although I wanted to go home, he chose to keep going. And now I feel stupid and weak for even wanting to call it quits. What a loser. Did you watch Jaren's super late stream with Sean Griffin from Kingdom of Context last night? I watched it today, yeah. Quality stream. Thank you, bro. We're getting there. The more Yah allows us to be squeezed, the grape juice will pour out. There you go. Exactly. Or just like when we got to the Keys and the guy parked right behind us, and he's like, oh, we weren't supposed to be here this week, but then my church asked me to give my sermon, so now we're here this week instead of last week. It's no coincidence that we're here. I'm like, you're right. You're definitely supposed to be here. And he kept telling us, keep going. Continue the tour. Keep going. Keep going, dude. Make sure y'all keep going. He just kept saying it. Make sure y'all keep going. The Creator's going to bless you. He said God's going to bless you. Keep going. God's going to bless you. Make sure, you know what? Make sure you keep, and it was genuine and not one of these just like talking point kind of things. And it was way after a whole long conversation. I explained it in my first comeback stream. I'll upload it in something. But if I can cut out the part where they say it's medical misinformation or whatever. Nevertheless, like we were supposed to be there. We were told to keep going. And this guy started talking about, some people say it's like hard to verify. I don't really know. Haven't looked too much into it. The principle is what matters, is that calcium will build up on the beak of eagles. And what they will do is they'll go to like a rock or a mountain and they'll just start beating their own beak until basically the beak breaks all the way off and it'll be blood everywhere, etc. But the beak will come back stronger and more efficient, right? Sometimes you have to go through these things to grow. It's just like pruning a tree. It's counterintuitive to the human mind to start cutting a tree up and cutting his limb off. How am I going to make the tree stronger, bro? I'm cutting it up, bro. That doesn't even make sense. But the fruit grow back stronger. The fruit grows stronger, bro, because the trees that were doing nothing, they were taking nutrients from the fruit. You have parts of your life that are doing nothing but taking away from your ministry, taking away from your testimony, taking away from your relationship and your true strength that Yah wants to give you and trust you with. But you have to be trustworthy as you grow. This all requires humility, right? You have to be able to admit there are parts of my lives that are limbs that are just sucking the nutrients from the rest of the fruit. I want to bear good fruit, so I need to cut off those limbs, right? Maybe I need a new beak. It is what it is. We are nomads of Yah. Yeah, exactly. And look at all the people that really crushed it for him in the scriptures, man. They kept it pushing, bro, like literally. Go out into all the nations. It's a process. The power of the mighty tongue has major impacts in ways we sometimes don't realize. I agree, bro. Absolutely does. Preach. Much love, bro. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I love you guys. If you got any questions about anything, hit me up real fast. I'm going to check and see. Like I promise I will. If there are any donations. That's a negative. Why do I get muted on D Live? $5 Cash App donation is the only donation asking me why they get muted on D-Live. I don't know, but thank you for the D-Live lemons. Philosopher Wilson, question everything, I'm assuming. Question the world. Where'd you get that hat, Austin? I can't remember the website. This Product of Grace is super fresh, and it's like purple velvet on the bottom. Just type in like, I don't really remember, to be honest. Just describe the hat, and there's like one website. There's only one website that sells it, and then I'll try to remember my next stream. I'll get the website link from my friend who I saw had it, which is why I looked it up and got it, and I'll send it to you. It's super awesome. I need that hat, homie. Yeah, it's awesome. It's definitely an awesome hat. It starts conversations too. People that are behind you are like, "What's your hat mean?" Or "I like your hat." You're like, "Oh, cool." Did you know the scriptures are literally true though? Like from the very beginning when they describe everything. Yeah, don't worry, bro. If you'll be here for the stream tomorrow, I got you. I'll show you. Also, we have a crazy gravy stream coming up. I don't know exactly when it's to be, but we got a good guest coming up. If y'all remember Mr. C, I think we're gonna do a stream, and it's gonna be a lot of gravy. So maybe sometime this week we're planning on doing that. So definitely stay tuned. Also, just follow me on Instagram if you have Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. If you do, I announce the stream every day that I'm gonna do one, and then what it's called. And then Globebusters Activism, and then in like 6 days we'll have WitsitGetsIt back. You see General Flint's speech, Lynn Wood's recent posts? No, but I wonder if it has something to do with bringing the Antichrist Donald Trump back to power. I will definitely jump on here and say, ha ha, told you so, if anything like that ever happens. I think it might be till 2024 he comes back, but he's coming back. You can go ahead and rest assured that Donald Trump is coming back. So, all right, guys, that's for a totally different stream. I love you guys. So once again, there's a simplicity in the premise here that kind of be easy to remember. Being humble does not necessarily mean thinking less of yourself, but just thinking of yourself less. Put other people in front of you. This does not mean don't be bold. That's a deception. That's a deception, dare I say, that only benefits the enemy, right? Satan, opposition to the Creator and his commandments, right? And his commands and his instructions, right? And his true will. You are to be as bold as a lion. Be bold. Scream it from the rooftops. Exalt your voice. Do not ever shy away from speaking the truth. Being humble is not synonymous with being timid. But listen to people truly care about where they're coming. Humility is inside of you. It's what you truly care about. Like, what are your true intentions? Do you truly care about reaching that person? Do you truly care that that person gets to know the good news that you know, or do you want to be selfish with the truth? Okay, these are the important things. And I just want you guys to think about it, because I do think, in fact, that the great deception will be tailored at ego of oneself, and they will tell you that you can be a god and you can create your own moral standard and blah 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 blah. Great stream. Thank you very much. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Indeed. So like I always say, seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. And throughout all history, the strong-minded people have been attacked by the weaker-minded people that get together and throw rocks at the free thinkers where there's a badge of honor, right? Because you should rejoice whenever they revile you, for they persecuted the prophets that came before you. So just stand tall in the face of this Babylonian world that's being built all around us. We do have the meetup tomorrow, Wakua Springs State Park. So if you're in the Orlando area, then you can email me at witsit@protonmail.com, and or you can just show up and you'll find us. Just make sure you email me, probably the best way. You can email me, DM me, etc. And like I said, we got a lot of gravy coming on the streams. It's not going to stop us. So I'll catch up with y'all later. Much love and peace.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting, say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big Pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock and twirl, somewhere orbiting. theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it if news anchors informant to informing them there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we courting ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real?